This is Catherine Hood. I am here again on another podcast. I am so thrilled. We have Ressa Marson with us today. She has a hypnosis business here in Spokane, Washington. The name is the Soft Spark Hypnosis. I'm really excited to hear more about this. So I do want to quickly throw out a disclosure before we begin. This podcast will be just basic tips, some advice, some suggestions, some of our opinions possibly, but it will be built around our experience, our education, and our training. We're not doctors, we're not licensed nutritionists or dietitians, but I would love to know more about what all you do, Ressa.
Well, thank you so much, Catherine. I'm so happy to be here. This is awesome. You do an amazing job with the groups that you take care of and the people that you surround these groups with, as well as the help that you give them. I know that you're a very caring and passionate person. You take care of your clients really well. You care about them even after their sessions. And I'm so happy that we get to work together a little bit today.
Yes, I think that based on what I know about you, you're the same way too. You care about people and you want results, and you are passionate about those things that you specialize in. And I think that we are drawn to each other for a reason. And I see those things that you do, and I'm excited to hear more.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Hypnosis is an interesting career to have, and I absolutely love it. I've always known that if I could have a job where I was a student for the rest of my life, that's what I wanted to do. And with this, working with people and the human mind, there's no limit to the learning that I get to have. So it's exciting and so much fun. I help people when they're really stuck, usually is when I see clients when they've tried everything else. They've gone to the doctors, they've gone to the counselors, they've done everything, and they're still not getting where they want to be. And my job is to help them bridge that gap from wanting to do it and actually being able to do it. And it's astounding to watch.
Right.
Weight loss is, of course, hypnosis. Weight loss and stop smoking are the two main things that people know about hypnosis. A lot of people don't mind sharing that they lost weight or that they stopped smoking with hypnosis. Some of the other things that I do help with overcoming fears and phobias and traumas and things like that, those aren't things that people are usually as happy to shout about that they went to see somebody for. So hypnosis isn't just limited to weight loss and smoking, but those are the two biggest ones that most people know about. The first question I usually get is, are you going to make me bark like a dog or quack like a duck? And I love that question. The short answer is, well, if you want to.
Well, it depends.
The longer answer is that hypnosis is opt-in. It is a consensual relationship that you choose to do. My favorite analogy is that if we could control minds and make people do exactly what we want them to do, every mother in the universe would be a hypnotist.
I love it. Yeah.
In the movies you see the people walking, Hollywood's great, but for the fun factor, but it's not the reality. So it is definitely an opt-in. You have to be a willing participant for it to help you.
Right. Well, I mean, the first step to weight loss is the desire that, you have to have more want than excuses, I believe. And I would think that would even be at a deeper level with hypnosis. Like you said, you've tried everything. You've done all the fad diets, you've done all the exercising, you've done all the whatevers, and find that you just can't get past something. I'm sure that there's something maybe deep rooted, or something that you are great with, like revealing. Maybe I guess that's what I guess
Well,
I'm kind of curious too.
yeah, absolutely. Well, what you said is really kind of spot on there. That's what we do is we get to the root cause for the struggle. And when we eliminate that and the feelings that come along with that, then it's so much easier to do the behaviors that we want to do. So if you think about somebody, if there's a weed in your yard and you mow over it,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of, it's gone for a little bit maybe, but then it pops right back up unless you pull it out by the roots. And that's what we do with hypnosis is we get to the subconscious mind where all of our memories are stored, and we get to the root cause and we eliminate that.
And the root cause might be something as far back as 3 years old.
Absolutely. Commonly, actually, at very young age is usually where that root cause comes from, because when we view the world as a 3-year-old, we can only make sense of it the way a 3-year-old can. So it could be something simple as mom walking away while they're sitting in the high chair and then they feel abandoned, or, that to that little kid's mind, it was, mom was gone.
And I've actually heard of it being younger than that. I've heard of a child that has severe jaundice and they're not able to be with a mother, right after being born, and having to be in a little incubator. Well, the baby, thinks that they're being abandoned, that they're, so that it could be as far deep as that.
Yes.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I've actually found, I've done a lot of quizzes. I love doing quizzes. And in some of them I had, just out of curiosity, some of these individuals that are either picky, extremely picky, or really struggle, what they ate as a child and what they see as a normal meal as when they're in their childhood and what they see as a normal meal now. It is kind of interesting to see the patterns. And we're not given a user's manual when our children are born. And I was not raised by any means in the best way, but I've tried my hardest to level that up and be a great mom. But one of the things that I really, really wanted and I desired deep, deep inside of me is that I didn't want my kids to be picky. And I got lucky, and they love food. They actually love food so much that they, it's like, let's go out to eat. And they want to go to sushi. They want to have, expensive food. And it's like, what did I do? Why can't we go back to the fish stick stage? The fish stick stage was so easy. And now they're like, really fancy taste. And anyways, but kind of back to our childhood, it really does have a huge impact on us.
Yeah, it does. And and not even, there are definite situations that that things happened in your childhood, but there's the things that just are regular everyday life that like I said, when you perceive it from a certain age, your perception is that's all you can get out of that is what you learned when you were 3. So it is amazing to help people find what that is. And almost everyone has been very surprised at what their root cause was. Because if they knew what it was in their conscious mind, they'd be able to just fix it.
And
there's a lot of things we do in our conscious mind that we know is, and that we work on, right?
Right.
So go ahead.
Yeah. I had heard a story not too long ago about going back to childhood and how we're raised. I believe, and I might not get this exactly right, but Michael Jackson's mother was interviewed and asked something in reference to how she raised Michael Jackson. And her quote was, and I may not get this exactly right, but something to the effect of, well, I raised him to the best of my abilities, to how I knew how. And I think based on what I've heard and understood, there might have been a little bit of abuse there, but that's all she knew. And that might have been how she was raised. And so that's kind of what it comes back to is, you know, how we're raised and how our parents are raised and in this cycle. And a lot of times we want to try to break cycles, and we do things how we think. We have a positive intention, I guess, in mind, and we're trying to do the best that we can with what tools we have and money and everything else. So
yeah, we do. I agree with that 100%. My heart is definitely with the parents out there. Um, you know, when you say to yourself, I will never do fill in the blank what my mom or dad did. And then you get kids, you're of your own, and all of a sudden you find yourself doing that exact thing and you don't know why, and you don't know how to change it, and you try. So that is one of the things that hypnosis can help with for parenting. And I have a huge, huge heart for that because we do the best we can. If we could do better, we would.
Right.
We just would.
We would. Or sometimes we do the absolute opposite because we don't want to be like our parents.
Right. Yes, yes.
Like completely opposite.
Yes, if you have a really strict parent, then maybe you're extremely permissive or the other way around.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we do those things to defy our parents even as adults.
I think another thing that comes to mind is, and a habit that I can't break is cleaning my plate. But I've learned to think that, okay, well, I'm going to put this amount of food on my plate. This is a portion. This is what I really should eat. And, you know, just really careful with that. And then I can always go get seconds, you know.
Right.
I always try to keep that in mind. But that is, and I've tried really hard to be rebellious and leave just a little bit on my plate. And and I can do it, but I have to really, really consciously try because the subconscious just takes over.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's probably one example that I can think of.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, again, that's something that, you know, if that was causing like an issue in your life or something, that is something that could definitely be worked with. I do tell my clients, my weight loss clients, to take half of what they think they want to eat first, because they can always go back for more.
Yep.
But at the beginning, I say, you know, if you were to eat a piece of lasagna this big normally, just take half of that. You can always go back for that second helping if you want. There's Erica Flint, who was my instructor. She's from Cascade Hypnosis Center in Bellingham. She has a book called Reprogram Your Weight, which I highly recommend. And one of the things that she talks about is the broccoli test. So, eat only when you're hungry. But how do you know if you're hungry? Well, if you're standing there looking inside the refrigerator, would you eat broccoli? If you would eat broccoli, then great, you're hungry. Get something healthy to eat and enjoy it. But if you're not hungry enough to eat broccoli, but you only want the donut, then your mind is telling you that it needs something else. And a lot of times that's a break. It just needs a break. And so go get up, take a walk, do a little dance, listen to some music, do something else so that you don't eat the donut. But if you're not hungry enough to eat the broccoli, now I happen to love broccoli, so I'm always hungry enough to eat broccoli, but whatever your broccoli is, you know, then don't eat if you're not hungry enough for broccoli.
Right.
And you know, we time our lives around our meals and things like that. You don't have to eat the very first moment you wake up unless your doctor tells you you need to do that. Eat when you're actually hungry.
Right. Well, as I look at all the specialties that you and techniques that you have, there's another one that stands out to me. I always joke that I'm a recovering perfectionist. What's funny about it was it's probably been, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, when I owned the Allstate office. I had the entire office and myself take a personality test. I've taken many in my life, many, many, many of them, but this one, and then they're all different. They all had different, and some of them I don't even know what the results were, but because I wasn't privy to that. But this one I was, and it actually labeled us. And I don't know if that's healthy or not, but the label came back for mine as a perfectionist, and I was in denial about it for days. And we had an office meeting, and everybody got their label, and it was kind of interesting to see and read what everybody's label was and how I could really go, oh yeah, that fits you. And then when it came to me, they were laughing and like, yeah, and laughing and pointing at me, and I was just felt like the kid in high school and freshman year getting picked on. But I guess I embraced it, and I try to recognize it and see it for what it is, and try to utilize it as something powerful, or scale back and go, okay, is this stopping me from moving forward because I'm trying to make it super perfect and not needing to.
Yeah, absolutely. I found that I used to be a master procrastinator, and I actually did hypnosis to help with that. And I just always thought I was lazy. But it wasn't that I was lazy. It was that I did not want to do something unless I knew I could do it perfectly. And that was holding me back.
Right.
And an amazing amount of things that it held me back from. So being okay to fail was not easy, but failing is awesome because you learn, and it's okay, and you improve, you learn, you improve, and then you can maybe get it perfect later on. But yeah, that was what I found out for me, was that it wasn't that I was procrastinating because I was too lazy to do stuff. It was because I needed to do it perfectly, or else I just wouldn't do it.
And I had a friend that her parents would ask her at dinner every night, what'd you fail at today?
I like that.
Yeah. So, but I do think that procrastination and weight loss can go hand in hand. I know a lot of individuals that are waiting for something, a time or a situation or whatever. And some of these individuals I've known for years, and they're constantly, telling me, oh no, it'll be another 2 weeks or another month or another 3 months, or, oh no, I'm going to start, but it keeps getting pushed off. It keeps getting pushed off. And I feel like that is a procrastination. I think it's a fear as well.
Fear. Yeah, I would agree. That's fear. Boy, that really holds us back from a lot of things.
Love, safety, and belonging is typically one of those. But yeah, so fear, procrastination, fear of failure probably is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Disappointment, disappointment or failing in front of others, I suppose.
Right.
And I think a lot of us have failed at many diets. And here's the thing, I don't teach diets, I teach lifestyle. So we create something, we curate something, and it gets you going and have, it's simple. You're not counting calories. It's super, super simple. It's a little more complex than the broccoli rule. I like that though. But you're not counting calories, you're not counting points, and you're not expected to work out 3 hours a day. In fact, I don't. And I wouldn't actually, I would never recommend anyone work out more than 60 minutes in a day, because it's just, it actually overloads your body with cortisol. But, it's just, I create a lifestyle, or help them create a lifestyle, walk them through it. And it doesn't end. It's a lifestyle. It's a change, it's a shift, but it takes time. Some people embrace it in 6 days, and some people it takes 3 months. And then they're off and running. And sometimes I have clients like, okay, I got this, after a few months. And then they go, away for a month, and then they come back like, hey, can you help me a little bit? Because they just love the accountability. They love having somebody there to watch and hold them. So I'm kind of curious, if I was challenged and struggling and I felt like I've tried everything, what would it take? Would I need to have, I'm sure it changes with everybody, just like what I deal with. So if somebody says, I really want to lose weight, would it be like an hour session with you once a week for 6 weeks, or is it just one time thing, or?
So again, depending on the client, what I do is I have my clients, I have a free consultation. It's about a 45-minute consultation. And that's where I get to know about them and everything that they need. And then from that point, we decide, how many sessions do we need? Most clients are within 5 to 6 sessions. Sessions are usually 60 to 90 minutes. Just kind of depends. For weight loss clients, that weight loss is like, do that every day. It is just one of those ones that is just every day. We talk about the feelings, because there's a reason that we're eating the food that we don't want to be eating. And usually that is, we're distracting ourselves from whatever feeling it is that we have inside ourselves that we're not liking. And it could be boredom.
Yeah.
Boredom is a feeling. Boredom means you're not being challenged. There's a great book by Cal Banyan called The Secret Language of Feelings. Oh. And I highly recommend that as well. Helps you identify feelings, as well as, what does it mean? Like being bored means you're not being challenged. So when you're at the refrigerator and you're not hungry enough for broccoli, what are you feeling?
Yeah.
So what do you need to do for that feeling? If it's loneliness, call somebody. Yeah. And so we deal with that, and we help with the root cause of what's stopping us from succeeding, helping get rid of those major feelings, and then we also work on behavioral changes. And through hypnosis with the subconscious mind, it loves to hear all that good stuff. Our conscious mind subconscious just soaks it up. And so it really helps create the ability to easily follow whatever it is that I'm not a nutritionist either. I do work with and collaborate with a holistic nutritionist, Trincy Hawkins. And so when my clients do have questions, I've got a really great resource there. And but for the most part, it's just about the behavior changes. Yeah. When the behavior changes, then you're not feeling deprived. You're not feeling like, oh, I can't have cake ever again in my life. So then all you got to do is eat cake, right? When you're trying to deprive yourself of something like that, then all you want to do is eat the cake. So it's just about behavior changes and just a shift in thinking, really.
Right. Yeah. Spot on. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I have an office here in Spokane. I'm located at the Tapio Center, kind of between Thorn Frey and Spokane. I also conduct sessions online. I am the first hypnotist in Eastern Washington to receive professional certification to conduct online sessions. And one of the first in the world, actually. So
what?
Yeah. So and for some people, in person is the best for them. But a lot of people having that screen between kind of helps them open up a little bit more sometimes. There's a little bit of a distance there, so for some people that aren't as open to share, that screen between us kind of gives them that freedom a little bit.
A couple things I would say about that too is like what we're doing, we're on a Zoom.
Mhm.
And something I learned in the very beginning to make it easier to do Zooms or Facebook Lives is, you know, set it all up, get it all running, and then drop it down where you can't see yourself and the other person, and just really focus on the camera.
Oh,
And that might even help a little bit more with somebody that might have that anxiety or that
right.
concern or worry about what do I look like. And another great thing is that I'm assuming that you can work with anybody across the country, or are you limited to
Anywhere in
Washington?
the
Okay,
world.
perfect. And then when you do sessions anywhere in the world, are you doing them on a platform like this?
I am at Zoom.
Good.
Use the Zoom room.
Yeah, yay. Yeah, I love the Zoom room.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah.
I also teach self-hypnosis.
Mm.
Um, so then my clients carry this throughout their life. They have this tool that they can use forever for any situation.
And when and if you're ready or willing, we should do a little mini hypnosis class. I run a meetup group, healthy lifestyle community and meetup,
Okay.
and would love to collaborate with
Oh, that would
you.
be
And
great.
wouldn't it? We
I
could
would love
do,
it.
yeah, yeah, we could do like mini sessions, or just a maybe a group class, and
Yeah,
then do something fun afterwards, and just, yeah, but that would be great. And then you could, offer your services to go from
yeah.
there. But yeah, I'm more than excited to do that. I just started the meetup group a little while ago, but it's
Okay.
ever growing. And so the theme of the meetup group is anything healthy or fitness or wellness. And so we do food tours. We do, so I have that coming up soon. And then I'll put the link underneath this video, and
Okay.
then I'll send it to you as well.
Okay.
But we do walks, we do yoga, we have Orange Theory tonight. So we're just doing anything health and fitness related, or wellness. But yeah, any kind of classes. Like, we had a chiropractic class in Coeur d'Alene last week. So that was
Nice.
fantastic. It was actually a dinner. So it was dinner and an education piece that went along with it.
Okay.
So it could be free, it could be a small fee. So if we get a space that has a cost to it, then we can coordinate
Okay.
with that. But if it's free, it's probably something we would want to do fairly soon. If it's a fee, we might want to wait a little bit until the group gets a little bigger. But
Okay.
so that's
All
out there and
right.
available. But I feel like we had a great podcast, so I,
This
I
was
feel like
fun.
we'll close out. But if you want to do another one in the future, let's do it. But I think this was
Absolutely.
incredible. I learned a little bit and really enjoyed my
Yeah.
time with you today.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. That was amazing to be invited to do a podcast. And and if anyone ever has any questions about hypnosis, what it is, or if they have questions about me, they can find me on the softsparkhypnosis.com, as well as the Soft Spark Hypnosis on Facebook. And I'll give you a few links to put in
Yep.
under there, but those are the two main ways to get in touch with me. You can also give me a call at 509-552-7876. And
Perfect.
I'm here in Spokane. And thank you so much, Catherine.
Yes, thank you. It's been an honor. It's been a great time, and I look forward to having an event. We should do a total event. That would be great.
We will do a
We'll
fun event.
we'll collaborate.
We will.
Uh,
All right. Thank you so much.
all right, thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.